Hey, Christy Mattoon here. I'm really super excited to be here with you. My name is Christy Mattoon from Mind Rewire. I am the owner of Mind Rewire Tools for Subconscious Change. And one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm actually doing a total body cleanse, and that's what I want to share with you. I have tried more than once to record this opening video, and I'm finding this really comical at this point. But I've just now recently learned that it's actually very easy to share your screen on YouTube, and I just now learned how to do it. So that's what we're going to do. So this time you can actually see what I was talking about in the last video. So I'll probably erase that one. So you can come back and watch this one and actually get all the information that I was just rolling through. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm excited to know how to do this finally. So healing your autoimmune symptoms, stopping autoimmune disease, whatever you're struggling with, whatever's going on inside the body, we got to cleanse it to get it to a point where it can actually start to operate and function the way you want it to. I'm trying to decide where I'm supposed to be looking. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. I have a little slide presentation. The purpose of this video is to help you set up your system for success, not only from a mental aspect, which is what I normally do with folks, but also from the physical aspect. So I'm going to give you all my tips, tricks, products, all the stuff that I like using, the guys that I go to for them, the websites that you can go to also. But know that you can also use whatever products you normally use. Or if you really don't have any idea, this is going to give you some information on how to find out some different things. So let me see if I can figure out how to share this screen this time. I want to share my slide deck. Here we go. All right, so you should be able to see my slide deck here. So this is called Heal Your Body and Autoimmune Disease. This is the pre-work. This is how to set the system up for success, what you need to do first, okay? So here's our goal. Our goal is to safely and gently cleanse all of your internal organs, effectively remove toxic buildup from your body, and wipe out all those nasty microbial bugs, bacteria, viruses, germs, all the bad stuff that we don't want in our system while we're building up the good stuff. So we're going to be doing both kind of at once, but we've got a process to go through here. Let me give you my disclaimer real quick. Sorry, I have to do this, but know that through the end of it, your choices are your choices. You can do what you want to with your own body. So the products and the claims that are made on this channel and on this specific protocol that we're going to roll through over the next year are not evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and they're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So don't use this information. You should not use this information for diagnosis or treatment of any health problem or as a substitute for medical attention, treatment that's prescribed by your physician or healthcare provider. This information on this site is for informational purposes only. While I'm saying that, I'm also going to let you know that I'm going to be going through this protocol with you, one step at a time, one day at a time, telling you everything that I'm going through, so you know what to be looking for, what to be paying attention to as you're going through it. So you'll have ideas, and I don't know, you'll have all the information I have. But do know that you're not supposed to be using this site or this information for any health treatment purposes. All right, having said all that stuff, let's move on. Detox and cleanse. This is going to be a slow, methodical approach. We really want to get down into the root, into the belly of it, so to speak, excuse the pun, and clean the system out so that it can actually start to heal. So I talked to Dr. Newsom the other day, and you'll be seeing his website pop up here shortly. If you don't know who he is, he's a good person to read up on. Ton of information, a wealth of information, and amazing products that this guy makes. So what he told me is there's 3 parts to a good cleanse. First part is stabilization. Second part is the detox. And the third part is to rebuild and fortify. And it's not that they're actually in parts. Sometimes we're actually doing every one of those pieces all at the same time. And sometimes we're doing them all at the same time, but focusing on a particular area. And that's what you're going to see as we go through this detox and cleanse together. So the first part is to stabilize. What that means, stabilizing the system, is set yourself up for success. Start eating really clean food. This is just the first in many videos that are going to be posted under this series. And clean food is a huge part of it. So there'll be a series or a video under here at some point about GMOs and about eating clean. But in the meantime, what you really just need to know is look for organic, right? The prices on organic stuff are coming down because there is more of them out on the market. Marketplace kind of drives price points, and because more people are wanting clean food, the price points are coming down. So it's easier to find. A general rule of thumb is stay away from anything that's packaged, right? Stay out of the center of the grocery store, so to speak, where all the packaged, boxed, bagged, bottled, and canned stuff is. While there are some good organic products in there, it's still been processed. It's still been, right? So we want to get as close to back to natural as we possibly can. So you're thinking real vegetables, real fruit, not canned, not jarred. Eat real stuff and make sure the real stuff you're eating is organic. If you're eating protein, make sure you know what your protein ate. What did the animal eat? So it's not only about the hormones and antibiotics that they're being injected with, it's also about what they're eating. And if you don't know what they ate, then you're eating something and putting your health basically on the line because you don't know what you're eating. So make sure you know what they ate. Breathing well. Breathe, 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 right? Oxygen will help do things in your system that you're probably not even realizing. I tell people when I'm working with them privately in the subconscious world, or when we're doing more coaching, that breath, you can actually calm your nervous system down with breath alone. So I teach people how to breathe properly in a functional manner. And I tell people, set your phone, right? Set it to go off every hour or 2 hours and remind yourself to do 10 deep intentional breaths. There will be a video posted up here shortly, probably within the next week or so, about breathing. I didn't put water on this list of stabilization, but you need to make sure you're hydrated, hydrated, hydrated. So drinking about 1 gallon of water a day. And I'll talk about that again here in a few minutes. Also, vitamins. Get something into your system so your system has something to work with, right? Some good, clean vitamins. And I'll be showing you where I get mine at in just a minute. And then also a good mineral complex, or I've kind of taken it apart and I've started taking them separately because I want more of some in my system. The next part is the detox and release part. So we're looking at getting rid of parasites, toxins, chemicals, metals, heavy metals. So from an intestinal standpoint, that's where we start. We're detoxing your intestines first. We want them emptied out. We want them clean as a whistle, so to speak. So how we do that, we'll be talking about in just a second, but that's where it's going to start. And then we move up into the liver and kidneys and then on up through the body. And you can't really take it apart. You're kind of doing it all at the same time, but we're going to really focus on the intestines first, and then we'll move from there. The liver and kidney are your body's filters, so we don't want those to be gunked up. Having said that, if you try and detox your liver and kidneys first without having emptied your intestines sufficiently, you're dumping all that toxic waste on top of intestines, and there's no way out, or on top of the junk inside your intestines, and there's no way for it to get out. So your intestinal wall is supposed to grab information and pull it into your bloodstream. And if that's what's getting dumped into your intestines, what do you think is getting pulled into your bloodstream? Could be why you feel so crappy. I'm just saying. So let's clean those intestines out first. That's where we start. And then rebuilding and fortifying. We want to rebuild and fortify your system. So it's prebiotics, probiotics, more vitamins, more minerals. Some of that comes from the natural food source. Most of it will come from the natural food source. So I don't want you to think this is like a product, like buy all these products kind of thing. We want to stay as natural as possible. And the stuff that I am telling you where I get it from just helps the system. It's going to help you to detox in a nice manner and easily. And it's just products that I know work. I don't get a kickback from any of these guys. I'm not a part of any of their organizations. I've just used their products. I've met them all personally. I've talked to them all personally, and I know their products work. So that's why I use them, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. All right, so the first one I want you to know about, if you don't know about these guys, they are just a wealth of information. It's The Truth About Cancer. Ty Bollinger is the guy's name that heads up that organization. If you go to their website, and I'm going to show you their homepage in just a second, they have a nutrition category. So you can go under there, and their supplement line is called Organics. It used to be called Epigenetic Labs, but now it's called Organics. And it's the same line that Dr. Newsom, who you see next in the line, it's actually his line of vitamin supplements. So they are in cahoots together. You can go through either website to get to Organics, to get those products. And then also right now, what I'm going to show you on the next page is where you can get an awesome intestinal cleanser system. It's 3 different products at a really good price, plus the book that you see right here, his Detox for Life book. So I think that's just really cool. And so I want you to be able to get that too, and you get that for free when you order from those guys. And then I'm going to show you Dr. Group's page because I use a lot of his products also, and it's actually his oxygen-based intestinal cleanser that I use most. Plus I use his iodine and a couple of other supports that he has in his site. And again, the same idea. I've just met the guy. I've read his book. Talk to him. These are just good, upstanding people. They make really good products. Their intention is to help you heal, right? And that's the intention here is I just want to help the process. Let's get some of this healed up. All right, so let's go take a look at the Truth About Cancer's webpage. So this is their front page right now. Today is Earth Day. Woo, for those of you who don't know, it is 4/22/2018. So on this Earth Day, we have all these lovely sales going on. Sorry about that. And the first one is from The Truth About Cancer. They've got their 2 detox protocols. The first one is for intestine. The second one is for kidney and liver. And then they've got their Magi Complex all bundled together. And the Magi Complex actually helps kill parasites and bolster your immune system. Really cool setup they've got right there. If you do the I think it's their, what do you call their monthly subscription. You get all of those for $89, plus you get his book for free. If you don't do the monthly subscription, I think it's 99 bucks. And this is on sale. When it's not on sale, I think it's like 120. So you can save some money if you do this right now. So I actually did the monthly subscription because I'm going to be doing this for a while. And I know I'm going to be doing it for a while. So I went ahead and jumped in hardcore. Because I want to get this cleaned out. I'm ready to get all of these symptoms stopped. Let me see if I can make this move. Here we go. So from there, this is from Dr. Newsom's website, I believe. What he actually says, actually this is from Truth About Cancer's website, the products there listed are safely and gently cleansing all 6 of your internal organs. So I turn this into our goal. Effectively removing the toxic buildup from your body, and they contain a powerful antimicrobial herb that wipes out your nasty bugs, viruses, and bacteria. All right, so giddy up. That's the one we're going to go to. Or you can go to Whole Foods or your local vitamin warehouse, wherever you buy your stuff. Find a good colon cleanser. Find a good support system, right? You can do it either way, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. Maybe you already have a product. That's fine too. We're going to use that product and then roll through this process. I just want you to know who these guys are. This one is Dr. Group's website. He's always got a sale going on. And you can see across the top there right now, it's 15% off for Earth Day. His site, and let me click right over here. The Oxy powder is the thing that I use most. It's what I'm using right now as a colon cleanser. I've already started kind of setting my system going into this. And it literally just moves stuff out of your intestines and colon. So once you start taking it, it says take 4 capsules a day. I've been taking them in the morning, and then I bumped it up. I take 4 in the morning and 4 at night just to really get stuff moving, because my colon and my intestines are really, really sluggish. So I'm just trying to really get all of this junk out of there. I do want to get his Paratrex. This one actually will start killing the bugs. If you go back to that one from The Truth About Cancer, they've got all 3 bundled together for $89 to do that. So you can go either direction. Both work, both are awesome. I've used both. I actually do have the Magi Complex. I take that every day anyway because it's got frankincense and myrrh in it. And those are just really good products to have available and in your system. So, I mean, any way you want to do it. If you look right here on Dr. Group's page, he's got a really nice bundle right here for $150, plus you would get the 15% off right now. So it's 2 bottles of Paratrex, 1 of the Oxy Cleanser, 1 of the Lateral Fluoro. This is actually a probiotic. And then there's one that's sitting there that's actually called Livertrex. And it's just a support for your liver and for your organs. So, and it actually helps cleanse your liver. I actually put a little bit of that in my water every day because it's a good support and it's a good cleanse. All right, so this is an option. Truth About Cancer is an option to find those products. Or you can go straight to Dr. Newsom's website, and I didn't get that on here, but if you look at his website under, I think it's under shop, it says, it'll have a list, but one of them says protocols. Look under his protocols. He actually has stuff like this all bundled together, and then he'll give you the protocol. It's kind of what we're going to be following here is the protocol he gave me to end inflammation, recoup your gut strength. So we're going to be recouping our gut flora and getting that microbiome colonized and resetting your energy, right? So that's kind of what the plan is here. I wanted to show you this because it's something I do use every other day ever since I met Dr. Group. We were talking about animals a second ago and knowing what your animals eat. It's also good to know how they were killed. And because if they're under a ton of stress, which they are, especially in America, we're horrible, you know, in the big farms about this stuff. And then you start taking Armour thyroid, which is pig thyroid, and that animal was super stressed out. Guess what you're taking in? Right? You're taking in the hormones of that pig stress. So what does that do in the system? I don't know. I never felt good taking that stuff. It never seemed to make a difference. And I had actually, you know, gotten a prescription and it would feel good for a little bit. And then I would get the next prescription and it would throw me right into the tank. So there wasn't a whole lot of consistency in it. And I understand that some of that is because we don't know what the pig's feeling like. We don't know what the animal's feeling like when they die. I do know when you eat a chicken that's died a horrible death, that's, you know, in one of the slaughterhouses and has lived a horrible life, it tastes totally different than a natural free-range chicken that somebody loved. It's crazy. I actually lived in Boston for a while and we had a farm up there and the gal was killing her chickens and selling them. They were crazy expensive because she was doing it all by hand, but that meat tasted totally different than anything I had ever tasted before. So there is something to that, and it does affect your system. So he told me to quit taking Armour. He goes, just get off all the medications. And it kind of basically came down to how ballsy are you? Because we were taught to listen to our doctors, and I'm not telling you not to. I listened to what Dr. Group said when he said it to me. And I guess he is a doctor, so I was listening to my doctor. And he told me to start taking detoxidine instead. Told me how to take it, a dropper full every other day. When I asked him for how long, he said probably for the rest of your life. You might be able to wean down a little bit, but you'll never stop taking it, you know, because the thyroid function was impaired. And so I was diagnosed Hashi. My blood levels and everything are normal with that as of the last time I had blood work done, which was a while ago. And so that's what I continue to do. So that's why I want you to know that. I also want you to know you can go to YouTube, look him up, and Google his name with, or YouTube his name with iodine. He has some great videos that explain why it works the way it works on the molecular level. So you'll understand it better than, you know, better than you probably do now. And especially if you're one of the people that was told if your thyroid has an issue, don't ever take iodine. Yeah, totally incorrect. Especially, I mean, if you have the right kind of iodine. Also, look up his oxy powder on YouTube and watch his video on that. He'll explain exactly why it works the way it works. Okay, so there's that part. So looking for, you know, cleansing the intestines, we want to make sure we really get everything out of there. So we're not actually just coming from it from one angle. We're going to come at it from many different angles. And cleansing with an enema or doing home enemas is one idea, or you could go do a colonics if you wanted to, have somebody else do it for you. Another idea, many different ways if you choose the home enema idea, or if you choose not to do either, totally up to you. If you really want to clean out the intestines and get stuff moving again, this will probably become necessary because most people in this country have impacted colons. So you can look through and kind of choose what you want there. Whole huge different price range. The 95-cent one works absolutely fine. It is disposable, so get multiple. You will throw it out after every use. And what we're doing is what Dr. Newsom recommended to me the other day. We're going to be doing a fresh warm water. So a fresh distilled warm water. You have to have clean water. You don't want to be using tap water for this. I was actually watching a video the other day on home enemas, and this lady was like, just fill it up from warm water from your tap. And I was just like, oh my gosh, why would you want to put that, especially into an orifice of your body that is a direct line to your bloodstream? That one blew my mind. So don't do that. Use distilled water. And we'll roll through that when we get to that part of it. And then the other part is a coffee enema. And so coffee enemas are known to help flush out bacteria, heavy metals, fungus, and yeast. So if you have a candida issue, if you're struggling with candida, this is going to help that. So from your digestive tract, including liver and colon, it'll help lower inflammation because you're getting all that junk out of there. Right? It helps restore bowel function again because you're getting the junk out, which increases your energy levels. And then you can start that healing process that we're talking about. The whole purpose of this is to get on the road to healing. So you choose to do this or not do this. Any part of this cleanse that I'm doing, you can modify it however you need to for you. What works best for you? There are going to be places through it. When I was talking to Jonathan Odo the other day, what he said to me, and he actually said part of this to the whole audience, but he grabbed his head and he's like, you have to get out of your own head. You just have to get out of your own head. He goes, sometimes when it hurts the worst, you have to push through it the hardest. He goes, if you start feeling super sick and nasty, it's because the die-off of the parasites inside your system is you're starting to really kill stuff. He goes, get in there and do a couple extra enemas, like clean that junk out of your system. You're going to feel better, relatively quickly. He's like, so if you get sick feeling and you're feeling really nasty, he's like, don't go just lay on the couch and let the nasty have. He goes, go do something to counter it. Go clean the system out some more. So there'll be places through here where I'm just going to be trying to push through it. There's going to be places where, you're going to get stuck and not be feeling well. Contact me. My email is Christy@mindrewire.com. Please send me an email. Talk to me about whatever is going on. And then I'll actually use that in future videos because my guess is if you're struggling with it and I've struggled with it, somebody else is probably struggling with it. So we'll talk about that stuff and we'll be able to work with it. So pick something of this realm. Decide what you want to use. If you're doing the coffee enemas with us, make sure you have a good organic coffee from a good source, and then we'll be just brewing that fresh daily, and we'll walk through all of that stuff. All right, minerals, water, and vitamins. This part's about the water. Clean reverse osmosis or deionized water or ionized water. If you don't have an in-home filter, which I don't, I can't afford that. I have a countertop model. Or right now I'm just going to Whole Foods and filling up my jugs. I've got 5-gallon jugs, 2.5-gallon jugs, gallon jugs, half-gallon jugs. I've got a little bit of everything. And the reason is I use the half-gallon ones. I mineralize those ones, right? So I fill it up with water and I put my minerals in it and I make sure I drink one of those a day. The gallon ones, I use it to gauge how much water I've been drinking. So when my gallon is gone of fresh water, I know my gallon is gone. Sometimes I will pour, some water into a cup and add the apple cider vinegar or the lemon juice. And we'll talk about pH balance here in just a second. But then I know when that gallon's empty, I've gotten my water in for the day. So it's just a good way to know and to be able to measure it. At Whole Foods, our specific one here right now, we're just above San Francisco. Our water is costing by the gallon about 48 cents, cheaper than any gallon jug of water you can buy pre-filled, right? So if you invest a little bit in those jugs, you'll have them for forever. And then, you can just keep refilling your water. So it's just a good way to go. Tap water is just not advisable. The chlorine's affecting you, the fluoride's affecting you, whatever other junk is in there is affecting you. Just not a good way to go. Even some of the bottled water from some of the sources in the store, and Dasani is the first one that comes to mind, bottled by Coca-Cola, comes out of a tap, and then they're kind of repurposing it, adding some minerals and flavors to it to make it taste good and calling it clean water. Not something I would want in my body. So make your choices, make the best possible choice for you. My choice is to go to Whole Foods and fill my jugs up every couple days. All right, let's talk about the gastrointestinal tract for a second. And this is about your pH balance and why this is so important. So did you know that the excess acid, doesn't cause acid reflux in your stomach? It's a pH issue. Did you know that the stomach's resting pH should be about a 4? You can actually go over to the pharmacy and get tester strips that you pee on, and it'll tell you your pH, so that way you know for sure. Good thing to do if you don't know. Did you know that before the stomach can actually empty the small intestine, the pH of its contents must at least reach a 2? So if you ever get that ball in the pit of your stomach and it just doesn't feel like it's moving, it's probably because your pH is off. All right, so that's an interesting thing to know. Did you know that colon cancer is the 3rd leading cause of death by cancer in the United States? Not really surprising, considering we all have impacted junk in our intestines and colon, and it just sits there, right? What's it supposed to do? It's gonna cause some kind of an issue, right? So that's not really surprising. Did you know that before transdermal patches and creams came along, the second fastest way to deliver a drug into the bloodstream was a rectal suppository? Quickest way into the blood supply is through your intestines, through your colon, right? We want them cleaned out. So imagine like your colon's impacted with all this junk and you're putting more junk in there, and your intestinal wall pulls information out of the junk that's inside your intestines and colon, and it puts it into your bloodstream as information, and you're expressing symptoms and issues. No surprise, right? So cleaning out the intestines and colon is going to be the quickest way to stop the issues and the symptoms that you're dealing with. So did you know that your colon is normally not more than 4 inches in diameter, but it can expand up to 4 times that if it's impacted with waste? Think about that for a second too. If your gut is so impacted and your belly's hyperextended and bloated, and you're trying to lose weight by losing belly or by losing fat, or you're thinking it's fat and nothing's really changing, how much of it's impacted waste inside your colon that you're just not moving? It's an interesting question. All right, so let's talk about toxic load for a second. I will be doing a video series on toxic load very shortly, because if toxic load, or if the toxic load of your body is trapped in your organs and intestines, it just makes sense to clean that out. What exactly toxic load is, I'll be going over in the new video that'll be coming out this week. But until then, just know that is what we're cleaning out. Your intestines hold all that junk, and we just got to get rid of it. So the colon cleanser I'm choosing to use is the oxy powder. I trust Dr. Group as far as using this. I've used it for a while. I've never gotten cramps off of it. Even when I've like doubled the dosage that is recommended on the bottle, I haven't had an issue, except that you get the runs, which is kind of the point. You want it to clean out your intestines. So know that this will cause the runs. That's what we're trying to do, though, is clean out the intestines, right? So not a bad thing. I want to talk about fulvic acid for a few minutes, because I think it's an element that most of us don't really know anything about. We don't really understand its benefits. And so it's something that I want you to find a really good source of fulvic acid. Again, Truth About Cancer or Dr. Newsom's site. Dr. Newsom actually has a spray that you can use, and he'll have a ton of information on there. This actually came from his website, so I'm just repeating things he's already said. In full disclosure, I just want you to know that's where this came from. So fulvic acid is essential for overall health and well-being. It's been known to aid the body to dissolve toxins, which is what we're doing, is trying to detoxify. It also enhances nutritional absorption and cellular function. Awesome, we all need that. It's a powerful antiviral, improves cellular communication, and promotes healthy immune system response. So what you're looking for is a water-extracted nanofulvic mineral. That's what you want to find. If you can't find it in the store, know that you can go to Dr. Newsom or the Truth About Cancer's website and find that. That's what their products are. That has that water extracted nanofulvic mineral has the highest efficiency and bioavailability. All right, so fulvic acid is a natural element extracted from humic shell. It's a natural antioxidant. It's also a natural histamine. If you have allergy issues, fulvic acid and vitamin C combined together are a really powerful antihistamine. There's not another antioxidant like it, is what Dr. Newsom says, which is interesting because I've never really heard that before. All right, so what it does is it balances pH, improves brain function, enhances immune system. It increases the energy in your metabolic rate. It supports cardiovascular health, increases nutritional absorption, improves cellular communication, enhances detoxification. Yes, all this stuff is exactly what we want, and it recycles electrolytes. What does that mean? Let's talk about that for a second. I found this really interesting. Fulvic acid, most research function is its ability to dissolve toxic substances and enhance and the enhancement of aerobic microbes. So the aerobic microbes are the good ones. They're the probiotics that we want to colonize in our system. And it also suffocates the anaerobic, which are the pathogenic or the disease-causing ones. So it's going to give you good availability to the good ones, and it's going to help you kill the bad ones. It's accomplished by fulvic acid's effect on the body's pH. So, right, the stomach has to dump the food at a certain pH into the small intestine, and this is going to help you reset that too. The multifaceted benefits of cellular waste being reduced and the antioxidation of cellular contents and fresh nutrition being delivered to the cell sets the stage for rejuvenation, which is really at the end of the day what we're trying to do is rejuvenate the cells. We want to reset the blueprint. We want to find that switch that we talk about genetically sometimes, and we want to flip that switch. This is going to be one of the ways it's going to help us get there. Probably one of the better ways, actually, getting all the chemicals and junk out of our system. All right, so what actually happens is when the mitochondria, the cellular power generator, metabolizes sugar for energy production, the carbon and the hydrogen that make up the sugar, the carbohydrate, are split, and the remaining fragmented carbon and hydrogen are left. Once they're fragmented, they actually act as free radicals, and the free radicals we've heard a lot about that causes cellular damage. Fulvic acid reactivates the fragmented elements and changes them into usable nutrition for the cell. That's freaking cool. So make sure you get a good source of fulvic acid. Let's talk for a minute about the microbiome. Microbiome, we want to just understand it a little bit better, I think, so you know what it is we're doing at the end of the process where we're refortifying the system. That's with the probiotics. Your microbiome equates to your probiotic colonies and what's in your gut. The average adult should have 4 to 7 pounds of microbiomes living, or microbes living in their gut. Did you know that the microbiome is responsible for the final stages of the digestive process? So imagine why your gut is impacted, why your intestines and colon are impacted. If you don't have a good, strong microbiome, and that's part of the final stages, that stuff's just going to sit there. Did you know that the microbiome is a very important component in your immune system function? We're all struggling with immune problems, right? They call them autoimmune diseases. Why are our autoimmune diseases not working? Because we don't have a strong or why our immune system's not working is because we don't have a strong microbiome. Did you know your microbiome extends, right? It's not just in your gut, it's your ears, your nose, your throat, the bronchial tubes, your urinary and reproductive tract. All have these microbes in it. So we want to fill that whole system back up with really good content. So this is basically a way you can look at it. Your network of microbes that cover the entire GI tract, respiratory system, urinary tract, all of these areas are called the microbiome. Your microbiome is a symbiotic, mutual, beneficial colony of microbes that live in your body's mucosal membranes. In this colony, you have thousands of different strands of microbes. One of the best ways or the easiest ways to look at it is like a community or a city. You have microbes that manufacture enzymes. You have microbes that act like anti-inflammatory little firefighters for the environment. There's microbes that harvest food. There's microbes that are like police that take care of villain microbes, right? So you got all these little pieces and parts, all these little guys play, and they cover the entire digestive tract, assisting in every aspect of digestion, from fermentation to enzyme production to connecting the nutrients from the food to their specific receptor sites inside the intestinal wall. So if you want to heal your stuff that you suffer from, if you want to get rid of your symptoms and your issues, then taking care of this microbiome gets really huge. How do we do that? You need a good probiotic. All right, probiotics. We hear a lot about probiotics. So this is Dr. Group's website, what he has on his for probiotics. You can take a look at those. The one in the center is, I mean, you look at the price tags first, and the one in the center is really expensive, but it's 23 strands, and we'll talk about what that means in just a second. Plus a prebiotic. So it's kind of the whole package right there. The one next to it that's only 25 bucks is just the probiotic. But it helps promote a healthy colony. And I'll tell you how I look at this and what I do with it. This is Dr. Newsom's website. The very last bottle here is his probiotic at 50 bucks. And it says it's a multi-strand. You'd have to go to his website and read a little bit more about it. But make the choice that's best for you, right? You can even go to Whole Foods or Sprouts or one of those kind of places. And in their refrigerator section, they'll have live culture probiotics that are like in liquid form. So, again, decide what's best for you. Here's what Dr. Group says to do when choosing a probiotic. First of all, ask how many strands does it have? A probiotic is just another name for a strand of bacteria. The different strands of bacteria offer different benefits. A lot of supplements offer just one strand. Some offer several. So when you start looking them up, you'll just find that there's a whole ton of stuff out there as far as strands go. But he says, don't be intimidated. If you want to simplify the process, look for a product with at least 3. Multiple strands will offer benefits specific to each strand, but it'll improve your ability and the ability of the bacteria to colonize in your digestive tract. So what I do is I'll start with one, and then the next time I buy one, I'll buy a different one. Right? You'll get different strands. You'll start colonizing different strands back into your system, and they'll all start helping each other. One of the questions he said to ask is, does it contain a prebiotic? So he has both. He has one that's just probiotic, and then he's got one that's pro and pre. And basically, the prebiotic is just the food that the probiotic needs to multiply and thrive. So at some point, you want to throw their food at them. Basically, he says it generally comes from fiber. Inulin, chicory root, or gum arabic are common examples of prebiotics. I'm sure there's a ton more out there. Think fiber. A great probiotic supplement will also contain a prebiotic. So at some point, I would find one that has both. And for me, I would just come to his website because it makes it easy. So basically, here's what you need to start this program with me. You need a good colon cleanser. I'm using the Oxy powder. Choose whatever you want to use, but you need a good colon cleanser. You need a good multivitamin. We need some good minerals and nutrition in the system as far as supplementation goes, so good vitamins. So whatever your good multi is, make sure it's a good one. I go back to the Truth About Cancer. I use their Fulvamax multi. It's multi plus mineral. Has done me really good. Get a good calcium. I think I'm getting mine off of Dr. Group's website. Vitamin D3, I actually get out of the vitamin store. I've got a liquid form. I don't have the name of it, but you can, go find a good vitamin D3. I'm doing one that's 5,000. Is it in micrograms? However they're measuring that in the dropper, right? I'm taking 50,000 per day right now. Which is an extreme amount, but I know that I'm tanked on it. So I'm doing that for about 5 to 7 days, and then I'll go back to the 5,000 again for a period of time. So I'm kind of oscillating back and forth doing that right now. Iodine. Talked about this a little bit before. It's tough if you've been told it's not a good thing to do. Go watch Dr. Group's video, make your own decisions. I use his Detoxidine. The Truth About Cancer also has a good nascent iodine, so you can choose. Vitamin C, you can't take too much, right? If you do take too much, you'll pee it out. We've heard that before, but if it's a good source, you're going to use it. If you've got an autoimmune issue going on, you're depleted. You can't get enough in, right? If you combine that with the fulvic acid and we clean your gut out, you're going to start getting enough in, and then you probably will start peeing it out. My guess is right now you're not doing that. People will tell you when you start peeing dark colored pee and that's all the vitamins coming out of your system because you didn't need all those in there. If you're suffering with autoimmune disease and your gut's impacted, it's because you're dehydrated. Your pee's a dark color because you're dehydrated. So drink a ton of water. Your vitamins and minerals probably aren't being absorbed properly, right? So we want to get that function in the gut back so you can start to change that. All right, so that was all the nutrition stuff, or all the mineral and supplementation stuff, just to get you ready to start this process. I also want to talk about the mindset, because it's going to take some mindset to get through this. So the first question you want to ask yourself, am I ready? Are you ready to do something of this nature? It's about your attitude, your clarity, your patience, and your practice. So we got to set this up for success and get all these right? I'm going to give you some pre-work to do as far as journaling goes. It'll help you set that up. And like I said before, you can always contact me at Christy@mindrewire.com. But let's take a look at this real quick. So your pre-work, know your why. Why are you doing this? What do you hope to gain from it? And what's your 2-year goal? Project it out into the future. What do you hope to either look like, feel like, right? Whatever the thing is, what are you wanting from this 2 years down the road, right? The next thing I want you to think about is water. Hydrate, 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 right? That's pre-work. Getting all the water you can into your system. All right. And then you can go ahead and actually, if you have your colon cleanser, go ahead and start taking it. You're hydrating, you're doing your journaling, figuring out your why. What is it you want to look like? Start getting that colon moving. I want you to weigh and measure before you start anything, right? If you have the opportunity, grab a scale and jump on it. I actually don't own one anymore. I'm actually thinking about buying one, so I have a number to follow. And that's simply all we're looking for, is a number to follow, right? Get a tape measure. You can buy one cheap over at Walmart or over at Michael's. Measure at least hips, waist, and thigh. It's going to give you good numbers to follow. If you want to measure your chest, knock yourself out. I did not do that because I don't have one anyway. Aw. That was meant to be funny. So, I mean, measure whatever you want to measure. Bicep, I don't know, whatever you want to measure. But we just want numbers to follow. Gut measurements are really good because that's really what's being affected here. Okay, you'll probably, if you're having trouble with weight, you'll notice, of course, that's going to come down all over the place. But best measurements are probably hip, thighs, and waist, if you don't do anything else. If you want, go into a gym, any 24-hour fitness across America, or any other gym for that matter, will help you do your body fat. It is kind of subjective. Again, it's just a number to go by. When you are full of inflammation and having impacted gut issues, I always have to wonder how much of that measurement, when they're telling you your whatever percent body fat, is actual fat. It's a tough guess. I would say I don't think a lot, because when I was going through the bulk of my process after I lost, about 150 pounds, I had the guy, my trainer was doing my body fat. We never really took into account the inflammation in my system from the autoimmune stuff. So even when he was doing that, there would be periods of time. I remember walking up to him and asking him why my skin felt so weird. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "It just feels weird. Like underneath my skin is just all, I don't know, it feels like a waterbed sometimes." If you have this issue, you know what I'm talking about. It just feels weird, right? You feel like you've got water balloons, or, you're a waterbed. My whole body's a waterbed. And, I don't even know, when you're trying to describe it to somebody, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But if you have this going on, you know what I'm talking about. And he never understood. Because he'd never felt it before. He didn't know. So when he's doing my body fat, he's giving me these numbers, and you would look at me and be like, "You don't look like you're that much body fat." It would be like 32 or 30. And he's like, you just don't look. He's like, it doesn't make sense, but that's what the numbers are. Numbers don't lie. Well, in this case, numbers can lie. How much of that was actually inflammation? And if I could have gotten control of my inflammation at that point, what would have the number actually had been? I really don't have any idea, except to say I know it would have been different. And my inflammation was coming from chronic stress from a past situation that I didn't even know about, something that my memory blocked, but I was still getting the chemicals from. And so I was getting the cortisol and adrenaline producing all of this inflammation in my system. My body was struggling and fighting with all this other stuff too, from the health side of it, with sugar and gluten and, all the stuff that we all struggle with. And poison upon poison, I was just this huge inflamed mess. So, weigh, measure, if you want to do body fat, go do that. It's just a number to track. We want to have something to look at, would be the bottom line. All right. I also want you to make a list of your symptoms. What are you conquering here? Because I want you to have something to look back at and be able to tick off, right? We want to be able to check these things off the list. And even inside of your why, knowing your symptoms is going to make defining your why easier. Why are you doing this? Because I'm tired of being bloated. Why are you doing this? I'm tired of my knees hurting. Why are you doing this? Because I'm sick of dealing with Hashimoto's. Why are you doing this? Because I'm tired of diabetes. Why are you doing this? I want to see how much I can heal up you fill in the blank, right? Because I have cancer. I want my cancer gone. Because I have muscular sclerosis. I want to see how much I can affect that. Because I have dementia going on. I want to see what I can affect there. Because I have, I don't know, the list is endless. I have Crohn's disease. Can I affect that? Right? So you fill in the blank there. Knowing more about why you're doing this and what your 2-year goal is will give you, when we go back and look, especially when you start struggling, think about your why. Right? Give yourself some energy and some courage to keep stepping through it, and knowing why you're doing it and knowing that there's a projected 2-year goal will give you some sustenance and something to hang on to. So total transparency, I'm going to give you my list of current symptoms. And then I'm going to talk about my why. So you'll kind of see how to do this. And this was just kind of the top of the bubble. But mine mostly centers around pain and aches inside my knees and joints. I have this weird sleepy thing going on right now that just kind of comes and goes. I'm not sure what that's all about. My recent bout with my autoimmune stuff came very recently, actually. I was doing really well for the longest time. Actually thought I had it conquered. And it came back up after a really highly stressful situation. And I just blew up like an Oompa Loompa. So gut bloat is like the gentle way to pull it, but like literally I feel like an Oompa Loompa. And the swelling starts in my gut, goes around into my butt, down in my thighs, inside, outside, and then up my back. So I have this huge pocket of swelling that's kind of amassed around my spine between my shoulder blades. And that's come and go for years, come and gone for years with different things. And all of a sudden it's back again. And, to the point where if I lay down, I feel it. So it's kind of this weird thing. I want that gone, right? That's part of the stuff that I'm really trying to get rid of, and I don't want it to ever come back. Lateral right side pain also, I didn't put on here, but also through my sciatic joint on the left side. And I've been told that's actually not a sciatic joint problem. It's actually an internal hip on that side problem. And all of that actually stems from, I had killed a bone in my foot on the left side problem. So up the chain, it's just caused all these reactions. But when I get swollen, when I get inflamed, it makes it all way, way worse. Okay. So I want that gone. Not being able to feel the need to, when you need to go to the bathroom. That's one of my symptoms right now. I've lost the feeling to like need to go pee kind of thing. And so that's really kind of frustrating and weird. I talked to Dr. Newsom about it the other day. He told me to go see a acupuncturist or a chiropractor. He goes, probably reset the hips is really going to help that, which obviously when I'm swollen, it throws my hips way out. So I know that's part of the issue. And then swelling, inflammation, legs, back, butt. And basically like the biggest part in my head is just the irritation that I'm still even going through this. Like, come on, I really have been working on this a long time, and I know you have too. So we want to get this right this time, get all this cleansed out and get it taken care of. Here's my why. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want to feel good every day. I'm doing this because I don't want to feel the pressure in my back anymore. I'm doing this because I want to be able to feel when I go to the bathroom. That would be awesome. I actually want to regain some of my strength and muscle mass. I think that would be way cool. And in order to do that, I've got to get the system working again. Do you know that you produce 80 to 85% of your neurotransmitters and hormones in your gut, not in your brain, right? The ones that work the central nervous system and brain function are produced in your gut. If your gut's full of crap, how's that going to happen? Serotonin, dopamine, are you depressed and they're trying to give you drugs that affect your brain and help your brain produce more of those? It's why they don't work half the time, because it's actually produced in your gut and your gut's full of crap and it can't do its job, right? You'll notice a huge difference with that stuff. My other thing about my why is I just want to enjoy food again, and I want to be able to eat instead of always be in healing mode. Excuse me. And I don't know, I wrote that's probably wrong thinking when I typed that, but maybe it's not, maybe it is, I don't know. But I do, I want to be able to enjoy food again. So some of this stuff is stuff that we can adjust from a subconscious standpoint. We can actually go in and talk to the brain and the cells and talk to it about what's going on. And that's part of what we're going to work with when we're doing this process. So that's going to be fun for people that have no idea what I'm talking about right there, and fun for people who do. You're going to get a whole different way to reset your body through the course of this. So I hope you stick it out and stick it in there and see where we can get you to. All right. So if you want to join the fun, you're going to go to YouTube. I'm doing this all live every day. Look me up at Christy Mattoon Mind Rewire. I'm going to see if I can send this out through the pipeline. So it'll go out through Instagram and Facebook and all those kind of things. But you're going to see this coming up under the heading of Heal Autoimmune Disease. And I'll start posting daily as of right now. So this will come up. I've actually already done this once today. So this is the second time. I'm really hoping it's capturing the screen this time. If it's not, I'm just going to jump under a rock somewhere. Whoops, let me go this way. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And there we go. My camera came back on. Perfect. All right, I hope you caught all that. I hope you're able to hear this and see this time. I tried to do this once already, so that was frustrating that it wasn't working. I'm hoping this one did. Again, I just want to show you, right, my oxy powder, my iodine, right, get everything lined up. Here's the minerals that I actually put in my water. This is my, I don't know if you can see that, my magnesium. It's from Ancient Lakes. It's kind of backwards on there. I didn't put this in the screen, but you can find these guys at ancientlakesmagnesium.com. Love, love, love this product. He actually mines this himself and he makes this himself, the guy that does this. Very, very good product. I also use liquid sulfur and my selenium. I don't know if you can see who that's from. This one is by Edom, but you can go by ionic complexes, mineral complexes, pretty much anywhere. It doesn't have to be this brand. Find something that works for you, even if it's a liquid mineral complex. There's one in a bright blue bottle with a blue label. I've used that one before. It's awesome. It has everything in it. Right now, I've kind of pieced these out because of something one of the doctors told me. So I just kind of pieced it out, and I'm just adding it into my water. Liposomal vitamin C, right? This is actually my last bottle of Fulvamax from when it was Epigenetic Labs. This is from the Truth About Cancer folks, right? So fulvic acid and a multi all in one. But I'm probably going to go grab Dr. Newsom's fulvic acid spray to have just a solid fulvic acid. The other things I use for killing parasites is neem oil. Neem oil, right? So you want a clean source of neem oil if you really want to kill the parasites. I put a few drops of this into a capsule, right? I have my little gelatin caps. I'll put this in there. And it helps kill parasites, right? So when I really start trying to kill parasites, I mean, I go gung-ho. I want these things out of here. And I'm already starting to pass some little weird things that I'm like, oh, right? Always look in the toilet when you're done. That sounds really gross, but do take a look, see what's in there, because you want to know what you're passing, you know, and I want to be able to share information with you. So, what is this called? Oregotrex, right? This is kind of an oregano oil, his blend of oregano oil. This is Dr. Group again. It's oregano oil. He's got some olive oil in there, I think. Cayenne oil, peppermint oil. So good way to detoxify and kill parasites. Oregano kills everything. Oregano kills it's antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, kills parasites. Good stuff. And it'll bolster your immune system. So it's going to make you feel better in that regard too, right? So good combo. What else can I show you here? I think that's it. All right. So welcome to the journey. Tomorrow, I'm starting the cleanse full bore. Come back and watch this as much as you need to. Grab the information, get your products, and jump in. If you have questions, please contact me. Jump into the chat. Jump into my email. You can email me, and let's see what we can get rid of and take care of. Blessings and peace to you. My name is Christy Mattoon, and this is Mind Rewire.